talked about this pre-stream anyway, but during a debate, I talk a lot during my normal videos. Don't get the opportunity a lot of times to shut my mouth, and that was definitely helpful. But there was a lot that I think needs to be brought up from that debate. But I do want to start off a little bit of a different tangent, and thank you. Um, I think so. We talk about immersive experiences quite a bit. Everyone wants bigger and better things. They want Half-Life Alyx. They want these stories. They want to feel like they're part of it. They need a lot to be going on, right? But aren't sports almost the greatest movies written out of real life? I mean, there's movies that are perennial all stars with sports because they are timeless, they hit you in the feels, even the real life stuff you can't make up. When Tiger Woods came back on his redemption tour, ended up winning, and hugged his child on the green, and then side by side, they show the photo of him hugging his father the last time he won, rest in peace. You cannot make that stuff up. If you have any bit of a human soul, you will tear up. It is a beautiful story, and that writes itself. So I think you do not get enough credit. Racket, 11, table tennis, all these sport focused games, I do not think get enough credit. They're very important, and I think they can lead to more immersive experiences than some story games can do. So I think that is understated, and you deserve some praise for that.
Well, thank you. I mean, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I've been a golf fan my entire life since I started playing when I was 11, which happened to be 1996. And Tiger Woods won the Masters for the first time in 1997. So Tiger Woods has been my idol since I was a kid. And watching him win the Masters in 2019 was like just the coolest feeling ever to see him come back and pull that off, and then like you said, hug his kid and see the shot of him hugging his dad, and just the full circle there. I mean, like you said, it's like this real time intensity that is happening somewhere in the world at that moment. And yeah, sports are amazing. Sports are great. It's a reason they've been such a big part of human history for such a long time. So I appreciate you saying that. And yeah, I do think sports games kind of appeal to some and not so much to others. But on the flip side, where I think we get a lot of benefit versus something like even a Half-Life Alyx is in replayability, right? I think
Yep.
people who
Yep.
play sports games and experience sports realize that every single time you play, it's going to be different. And that's why, we have a lot of players that play every single week or in some cases every single day, including my dad, who's 65 and no longer plays golf in the real form, but plays VR every day and almost every day tells me about his round. So
I've got to
it's
ask too, like, because I feel like we
cool.
didn't the debate. You don't get a chance to connect, and I know a lot of people know you are part of Pro Putt VR. That's clear as day. But what is your background? I'm assuming you're into golf, and I say golf because I learned that you don't say golfing as a golfer. That I learned the hard way. But I've got to imagine you got a pretty good history in that. And what got you into VR from there?
Yeah. So I started playing golf when I was 11, started writing code when I was 13. Um, so yeah, that definitely made me very popular in high school, being on the golf team and being a huge nerd. Um, but I, from there, it's I was always into computers, always into computer science. So I ended up going to Virginia Tech, got my Virginia Tech Scotch glass there, and studying computer science. Got my degree in computer science, and then I got into mobile game development actually, which was really strange because it was before the iPhone came out, so that kind of dates me a bit. Um, but it was really interesting because this was like when people were still making games for flip phones, which kind of sounds funny. Um, and it just so happened that the like half a year into my first job out of college, which was making games for flip phones, the iPhone released the App Store. So suddenly there's this entirely new market for mobile games, and unlike desktop or console games, on the first iPhone, your processing power was incredibly limited. So everyone's kind of starting from scratch. You have a touch screen, you have an accelerometer, and it's like the wild west of like what's going to work on this new platform, and like is there a real business here? And thankfully, the company I was working for immediately got into creating games for the iPhone, and I got to start working on iPhone games in late 2008, which is as early, as early as anyone else in the world. So as like a, I guess what, 22-year-old or something like that, um, I kind of immediately had as much experience with iPhone development as anybody else in the world, and I ended up continuing to do that for I think about 10 years or so.
Hit that subscribe button to stay on top of the daily clips, or catch the debates and fireside chats live on the main channel down in the video description. See you next time, Space Cowboys.